Well, welcome everyone to this second lecture about waves. As you can, of course, all remember, last time we discussed different wave types: short waves, long waves, tsunamis, tides, and also the wave generation. So, short waves that are generated by the wind, and the longer waves that are generated, for example, by an earthquake or by the moon and sun, tides. So today I would like to continue with the orbital motion that I shortly started last time. So today we'll discuss orbital motion, the shape of the waves, and wave breaking. So first of all, the orbital motion. The orbital motion is the motion of the water particles below the waves. So if this is the water surface with the waves, then a water particle will make a circular motion like this, and it will actually not move. So it will just make a motion, but there's no transport of water. So actually one particle is just making the same circular motion all the time. And this circular motion is the largest near the surface where the waves are, but it extends downward. So here we've got also a circular motion going on, and here as well. And here as well, until there's no influence anymore from the waves from the surface. So the larger the waves are, the larger the influence is, the deeper it goes. But what happens when all of a sudden we're not in deep water anymore, but we've got the seabed, we're approaching the beach. So the waves are approaching the beach, and all of a sudden here's the seabed. So the water particles cannot make their circular motion anymore. What do you think that will happen to this motion? Does anyone have any idea?
It will collide with the bed surface of the thing down there and move things.
Yeah, almost. It's actually it will start to affect the bed, as you said, but all the water particles will start making an ellipsoid motion. So not anymore circular, but it will become an ellipse like this, and also lower down, because there's limited depth. They cannot make the circular motion anymore, so they go like this. And then at a certain time, when it becomes shallower and shallower, there's so much influence from the bed that there's too much friction going on, and the motion in this direction, which we call offshore, is slower because of the increased friction than the motion in this direction, which we call onshore. And when this happens, the motion isn't complete anymore, it's not closed, so there's actually mass transport going on. So the motion will then look like this. So the water particle starts here, has quite a slow offshore movement, and then a faster onshore movement, and because of that it's actually moving towards the beach, and that's when mass transport is going on. So that's important if you're going to look at actually what happens with the water and with the sand when the waves reach the beach. So now we're going to look at the shape of the waves. So in deep water, the wave will have shape of a sinus, and this is really bad drawing. So it should actually, this should be symmetrical. Still not symmetrical. But this is the wave crest, which is this one, the crest, is as high and as wide as the wave trough. So what do you think will happen when the water becomes shallower? So there's limited depth and the water particles are moving like this and like this instead of the circular motion. What will happen to the shape of the waves?
The crest becomes higher.
Yes, indeed, very good. The crest becomes higher and narrower as well. So the crest will do this and the trough
Really wide one.
become wider and shallower. So like this. So that's called shoaling, and that means that the waves actually become higher. And this also because, of course, the velocity is larger over here than it is over here. So that's why it's wider and narrower. So that's what happens to the shape of the waves. And then, of course, what happens when the waves really start approaching the beach, when we're really close to the beach? What happens to the waves? Anyone? They become higher and higher. And then?
They're just going up and up.
They're going to break. So we get breaking waves. And and why is this happening? Why are the waves breaking? And I don't think of a reason why it's just not moving higher and higher.
There's no depth anymore.
There's no depth anymore. There's limiting depth. And actually, the main reason is that the crest is moving faster than the trough. So this is actually just moving over the trough. So it will just start leaning over. I mean, everyone knows the pictures from Hawaii. So leaning over, and at a certain moment it just can't do that anymore, so it will break. And if you're at the beach, are waves only breaking at one location? How could you see where the waves are breaking? Anyone tell me that? Well, waves do break depending on the depth, of course. So if you've got a beach like this, so just a straight beach, then they will only break at one location and then the breaking will continue, sort of. But if you've got a beach like this, with water level, then the waves will start to break over here, and then they will start shoaling again until they break over here again. So we've got multiple zones of breaking, and we'll discuss that further in our next lecture.